And good morning. It's 7:04 on this Wednesday, October 5th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company. Our guest host today, Sarah Haston.
Good morning, Lebanon and Wilson County. This is Sarah Haston filling in for Coleman Walker, who is out this week. I hope everyone's having a lovely morning on this October 5th. It's a little chilly, but I think that's part of the change of the seasons. Wanted to start this morning with Cedar Stone Bank. Simply Better Free Checking. Cedar Stone Bank is located in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. And they are home of the free checking account. They are one of our community banks, and we appreciate all they do in our community. So that's Cedar Stone Bank, Simply Better Free Checking. We are going to get started with our show this morning. We got our first guest here. We've got the UT Extension Office, and it looks like you've got some special guests with you this morning, Morgan. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Yes, I'm great.
Good.
Yes, it's cold this morning. Yeah, I'm good.
You know, it is cold. It was, it's starting to feel a little bit like fall.
It is, yes.
Now this afternoon, it might not feel like fall, but definitely in the morning, we had to use our defrost.
Yes.
So, Morgan, when we were out in the hall, you told me something exciting. So why don't you tell everyone?
This week is National 4-H Week. So National 4-H Week is celebrated every year the first full week of October. So, so it's National 4-H Week.
Awesome.
So we're just celebrating this week by recognizing some of our 4-H members and our volunteers and alumni and some of the things that we do. And we're doing that across the state. So we're sharing a lot of things on Facebook from across the state and as well as just, in our community.
Great. And it looks like you brought some 4-H members here with us. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
My name is Sarah Powell.
My name is Samuel Cordray.
Awesome. Now, what grade are you in, Sarah?
I'm a ninth grader at Watertown High School.
Awesome. And what about you, Samuel?
I am in the 7th grade and I am homeschooled.
Wonderful. Now, what do you guys do with 4-H? What is your specialty?
Well, my project is a sheep project, and I live on a farm and I work with my sheep every day.
How many sheep do you have?
I have around 100 sheep, probably plus.
Wow, I am impressed. 100 sheep.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you say you work with your sheep, what do you do with them?
So every day we get up, we feed them, and every night we feed them. And during show season, we show our sheep, and we take care of them, we groom them, and then we'll halter break them whenever it gets closer to showing season. And then during December and January, we have lambs, and we do lambing season.
Now, when is showing season?
It is around July kind of to September. It's kind of where we range.
The state sheep show is coming up, though.
Yes, in October.
Weeks, so.
How many sheep go in the show? Like, how does that work?
It depends on the breed. There's different breeds that are very popular, and then there's others that aren't as popular. So it just range about the popularity of the breed.
Okay. Now, Samuel, what do you do with 4-H?
I show goats.
Goats. Okay, how many goats do you have?
We have about 9.
9 goats. Okay. Now, what do you do with your goats?
We show them as well. Groom them, feed them, all that fun stuff.
Okay. Now, is goat season the same as sheep season?
A little bit. It just
I think
ended,
it's a little earlier.
Yeah, it's a little. The state 4-H goat show is during the Wilson County Fair.
Okay.
So they just kind of went out with a bang during the Wilson County Fair.
So you guys have been busy for a while then.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Well, that's exciting. Now, if you're not too familiar with 4-H, so what does 4-H mean?
4-H is a youth organization. We're obviously through the extension office. But it's called 4-H because it stands for Head, Heart, Hands, and Health. And we are grades 4 through 12, and we go into the schools, and we also do a lot of livestock. They were talking about livestock. We do some other things as well, like archery and chickens and sewing and cooking and arts and crafts. There's a lot of things that we get to do. So
now, how do you decide you want to be a part of 4-H?
Well, it mostly started with me in 4th grade. Miss Morgan came to my Miss Stutz class, and she went and we did demonstrations, public speaking, everything that you could think of. And that's just how everybody really starts off. I have 2 older siblings that are also in 4-H, and it's always just been my dream to be in 4-H, honestly. And just 4-H in 4th grade, you start there and then you just move up, and it's very fun.
Well, it sounds like you're very passionate about it, so
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
exciting at such a young age to see someone excited about what they're doing. So, Morgan, now is that part of your role at the UT Extension as you go into these schools and you start that education process early and hopefully light a spark like you did here in Sarah?
Yeah, that's the goal. Is we go into all the 4th grade classes that we're able to get into, all the schools we're able to go into. We go into the classes and we do public speaking, which they don't like the public speaking as much, but
Well, you're doing a fine job today.
Thank you.
yeah, they get more into it later on, I think. But we do public speaking and posters and demonstration contests and things like that, and tell them what 4-H is, and they learn about the 4-H pledge and all those things, and they get to do some leadership, elect officers, and a service project. So they're learning some basic skills, and then we go in and tell them about 4-H camp, and some of them will go to 4-H camp over the summer, and then they're kind of hooked from there.
Sure. So
So-
even though it's centered around agriculture, it sounds like it really helps you become a more well-rounded individual then.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yeah, that's the goal.
Awesome. That's great. So did you attend 4-H camp?
Yes, ma'am, I did in
yeah.
4th grade.
Awesome. What about you, Samuel? Have you attended that before?
I have done the 4-H day camp this past year.
Did you like it?
It was really fun.
Yeah. How did you get into it? Same way with Miss Morgan here?
I got into it in Sumner County with
Okay.
the horse project.
Oh, so how does that work? Tell me what a horse project is.
So a horse project here in Wilson County would be we can meet once a month in the Horse Express, or we can go to have practices and competitions with like our horse knowledge of kind of the anatomy and different feeding and all that.
That's great. So one of the things that people always talk about when you're taking care of animals like goats and sheep is the amount of work and commitment and getting up early. You want to tell me how early you get up to feed your sheep and your goats?
Well, especially during school time, I'm not able to feed them because we get up so early for school. But just a normal day is like 7 o'clock, you get up and feed them, and then around 7 o'clock at night, you feed them. And it's not like you have to feed the sheep at a specific time, but it's nice to kind of have a routine.
Okay, great. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
All right, it's 7:12. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. It's all brought to you by our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot and write it off your taxes. Visit Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment. Tractors, RTVs, hay tools, and turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. Traffic still slow going out in the Mount Juliet area. They're trying to move a crash off the interstate. It's 40 westbound. Again, just before the Mount Juliet exit, that's what, mile marker 228. I can see it starting to really slow down all the way back to 109 now. On 40 westbound between 109 and the Mount Juliet exit, that's struggling a bit through that section of Wilson County. Trying to clean up this wreck over here on Vietnam Vets ramp to 65 South. I see that slow down now coming through the Jolton area due to that crash on 24 eastbound just past Whites Creek Pie. Ober Gatlinburg Restaurant and Lounge celebrating Oktoberfest. Check it out at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck. You're on time traffic.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is a family dental practice located across from Vanderbilt Wilson County Hospital. They offer cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and now featuring new digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments. No insurance, no problem. Call about our discount plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs. I look forward to meeting you.
Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322, West Bador Parkway across from Gibbs Pharmacy.
Fall is here. Shop Springs Creamery invites you to their fall festivities on the farm. Grab some fresh ice cream and enjoy the corn maze, shell corn pit, dummy roping, and the corn cannon, happening September 16th through October 30th. For more info, visit shopspringscreamery.com. For fresh ice cream, fall festivities, and fun for the whole family, make plans to visit Shop Springs Creamery, 4 miles off I-40 towards Watertown, September 16th through October 30th. Happy fall, y'all!
Hi, everybody. Tommy Bryan. Join me, along with Harry Stafford, Bob Lee, and Joe Gardner, as we bring you Lebanon High School football. Brought to you by Bates Ford, Bakes and Hooker, K. Maynard Insurance, Lebanon Police Chief Mike Justice, Wilson County Sheriff Robert Bryan, Kenny Salas, Sports World, and Wilson Bank and Trust. The Blue Devils travel to take on rival Mount Juliet Thursday. Pregame at 6:30 on WANT and WCOR.
Good morning. We are back. This is Sarah Haston filling in for Coleman Walker, and I have Morgan here with me, the UT Extension Office. She's the 4-H agent, and we've got 2 students here because it is National 4-H Week. So we've got Sarah and Samuel talking about their experience with the UT Extension Office and 4-H. And just during the break, we were talking about the different roles that they play in 4-H. And Sarah, do you want to talk a little bit about the livestock judging you were telling me about?
So in livestock judging, there's most of the time you judge cattle, goats, pigs, and sheep. And there's 4 in a class, and you judge the quality of the sheep, or the quality of the animal, and you go 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5, or 4, 2, 3, 1. And it's just, and then you judge them, and then you get scores, and then you go to regions, state, and then nationals. And nationals is just the best thing you can go to.
And so you've participated on both sides. You've shown with your sheep, and then you've been a judge as well.
Yes, ma'am.
So did you learn those skills on how to be a judge through 4-H?
Yes, ma'am. I started, and I also live on a farm, so whenever you're starting to show your sheep, you need to also judge them and pick out the best ones.
Just so you can understand how to participate and how to make the best of the show.
And whenever you start in 4th grade in livestock judging, and then you go up till 12th. And then I started showing sheep much younger, but whenever it started in 4th grade, I picked out much better quality sheep, and then you can go further on and pick out better ones.
Very interesting. Now, Samuel, what about you? Have you done livestock judging as well?
I have. I did it this past year, and it was my first time.
Yeah, did you enjoy it?
I did. It was a lot of fun.
And did you learn those same skills through 4-H?
I did.
Great. That's awesome. So what would you say, Samuel, is your favorite part of 4-H?
I look forward to the archery the most.
Okay, well, talk to us about that.
So we all line up for practices on Thursdays, and we just shoot our bows and have fun.
Yeah? You shoot it like standing targets? Like, how does that work?
Yeah, we have some targets. We have some really awesome volunteers that are our archery coaches that have been doing this for like 14, I think maybe 13 or 14 years. And so longer than I've been here as an agent. And they really, and it's Larry and Jackie Binion, and they help us make sure that we have everything that we need. But yeah, we have targets, and we've got bows and arrows for those that don't have bows and arrows and want to learn. And we have fall practice and then spring practice, and then we'll go to the state 4-H archery jamboree in the spring. So they come and they practice, and they're practicing. They go to that jamboree in the spring, and the jamboree is huge.
Where is that at?
It's in Cookeville at Hyder Burks, and it's like 100 kids shooting at a time, and like several days of this, So I mean, it's huge. There's like 500. It's one of the biggest things that we do in the state right now, because there's about 400 or 500 kids that come to that state shootout. So
that's awesome. So when you want to win, then, huh?
We do. We try our
We do.
best.
we're working
cool.
towards that.
Well,
we're
good.
working towards it.
Good. I am not into archery. We had a event at work the other day, and they had these little practice things so you could try it, and every time I tried, my arrow just fell flat. So I never learned how to do it.
I was not into archery either, but that's the best part about being the 4-H agent on my side of getting to work with 4-H is learning a lot of skills that I didn't know or didn't do, but also like getting to do some of the 4-H things that I didn't get to do when I was a kid in 4-H. So I didn't get to do archery when I was in 4-H, and I've learned a lot about archery. So,
great.
and there's other things. I didn't get to do livestock judging when I was I did 1 year, and then we moved to a different county that didn't have it. But I didn't get to really learn how to do it, and I've learned more about it over the years. So it's kind of neat to get to like learn some of those skills and things from the agent side as well. And you learn a lot from your kids as well.
I bet you do.
Poultry judging. We have a really good poultry judging team, and my first few years as an agent, I learned from those kids. The kids taught me that were on that poultry judging team, and now I can teach it. But I definitely learned from those first few teams I had. I learned from them more than anything else.
That's fantastic. Well, I love that you all have a passion for what you're talking about and what you're doing. How much time would you say as a student you give to 4-H each week?
Every day.
Awesome.
It's something that you never can leave. It's something that will always be with you and have memories forever.
Yeah, I kind of echo that. You can't really stop once you start. You keep going.
Now, do you recruit your friends to do this as well?
Yes. The first year I had a lot of friends that did it and are still doing it.
You as well?
I do as well.
Yeah, that's great. And you obviously probably make new friends too.
Oh, yes. A lot of my friends now are from 4-H.
That's great. It's good to be around people who like the same things and learn from each other and share that time together as you're growing up.
It is. And you meet a lot of friends with new skills that you don't have, and maybe they can teach you. So like with archery, Lincoln was helping me all the way through to become a better archer, and now we're on the same team, and we do pretty good.
That's cool. That's great. So what would you say to someone who said, I think I might join 4-H. How do I get started? How would you encourage them and talk to them, and what's the first step?
Well, I would first ask them what their interests are. We have a wide range from line and design to livestock judging. You can do almost anything you want in 4-H. And I just would ask them just to go to the extension office, talk to Miss Morgan, and you can start doing that immediately.
That's great. So, Morgan, you have partnerships with Wilson County Schools and Lebanon Special School District. Is that how this works?
Yep. We went and we go every couple years or so and visit with with them at their main office, and the director of schools for both are really supportive of us, and the principals are really supportive of us. Probably because we have been in the schools for a really long time in Wilson County, so they're all really supportive. We come in and we do like the public speaking and things like that. That hits standards for 4th and 5th grade, so they're able to let us come in and teach public speaking and teach presentation skills and some of those things. They use it as grades so that everyone is involved. It doesn't sound like a lot of fun when when you're talking about speeches. But those kids are learning a very important skill, and they're doing it in a way that is a lot more fun because they get ribbons and they get to go to different contests. If they get a blue ribbon in their class, they get to come to the county. So, and it's really exciting, or at least I think it's exciting. They probably think it's exciting too, to get a 4-H ribbon and get to advance to the next level. It's a kind of an exciting thing, whether it be speaking or a judging team or whatever. It's really exciting to get to place in a contest somewhere and get to move on to the next level.
Definitely. So how many ribbons do you have?
Probably too many to count.
Yes, that's a very good question that I cannot answer.
So you're successful with your sheep?
Yes, ma'am. I'm very successful with my sheep.
That's great. Now you have siblings on this farm that help as well? Or?
Yes, ma'am. I have 2 older siblings, Grace and Anna. Grace is actually at UT Knoxville. She's majoring in ag science, animal science. And Anna, she's a senior at Watertown High School.
Okay. So with you being in 10th grade, are you starting to think about colleges and exploring that?
It's always been my dream to go to UT Knoxville. It's where Dad and my grandfather went, and it's just always been a dream.
And will you major in agriculture?
Animal science.
Okay. That's great. That's awesome. Well, good luck on that. I wish you well on that. And what about you, Samuel? What are your interests as you move on in your education?
I would like to go to UT Knoxville and study in animal science, but who knows where it'll take me.
Yeah. So now if you're with goats, do you take on more? Like, how does this work? Do you say, okay, now I'm going to move into chickens? Or once you have a specialty, do you kind of stay with a specialty?
I tend to kind of dabble in a lot of different things. So we did goats this year. I think we'll do goats again next year, but we might try sheep or maybe a pig. I don't know.
How do you decide?
That's a great question. I don't know.
If you have the room at
Yeah,
your place for the space for the animals, probably.
And probably the money to feed them, right?
Yeah.
And take care
I
of
will
them.
say most of the 4-H'ers that are at this level are working on a portfolio, or if you've been in 4-H or heard of 4-H for a really long time, we used to call them record books, and now they call them portfolios. Same thing, but they basically pick a project. Now, a lot of them, like Samuel and Sarah, will do a lot of different things as well. But for the most part, they pick a main project, and they stick with that main project. And every year, they turn in this portfolio that is everything that they've done, all the awards they've done, all the leadership and the service projects and everything. And they turn it in every year. It's a competition and a contest. But the great thing about it is that hopefully by the time they are in high school and turning it in, they're getting scholarship money for UT Knoxville or any of the other colleges they may want to go to. So that is their ultimate goal, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So each year the portfolio evolves. They take it up a next level.
They keep adding to it, and then by the time you get in high school, if you're the top 6 or so in the state in your project area for your grade, you get to go and compete. It's an interview process, and you go and compete at Roundup. And if you win at Roundup, you get a scholarship. So that's the ultimate goal. But both of them turned in junior high portfolios this last year. So they are in the process. They're heading that direction.
That's great. So hopefully we'll get some scholarship money then.
Yes, ma'am.
And get to go follow our dreams.
Yes, ma'am.
And get to go to UT Knoxville. That's awesome.
Oh, yeah. That's a great way for a 4-H member to be able to get to go to UT and they get the scholarship money for 4-H, the state scholarship money.
And it sounds like those skills that you're learning, the leadership skills, the public speaking, obviously commitments to taking care of whatever project you pick and then organizing it, putting it together and being able to present it. Those are all valuable skills that help you not just in high school, but college, entrance exams, and then life as well. That's part of...
Exactly.
We all talk about how we meet people who struggle to communicate, and it sounds like you guys have some great skills. We're having this pleasant conversation at such a young age. I'm proud of both of you. This might have been a little intimidating coming into the radio, but you guys are doing such a fantastic job and educating me as well, because I know nothing about 4-H or sheep or goats. So this has been thrilling for me. And I love that you guys are involved in the community, participating at the fair as well. That's a big deal to you.
Oh, yeah. We're involved in the fair.
Yes. I'm very active in the Junior Fair Board. That's where I mainly volunteer at the fair, but then I'll also volunteer at the Chicken Shack.
The Chicken Shack.
Yes. That is where they sell their famous 4-H chicken.
That's our major fundraiser for the year. We have a food booth called the 4-H Chicken Shack.
That's great.
And we smoke chicken leg quarters and pork loin.
Wow.
And it's
highly recommended.
It is a crazy couple of weeks in the Chicken Shack, making all that chicken. I talked about some volunteers earlier I'm very, very appreciative of. There are a bunch of parents and volunteers that help with that chicken shack to make it work that I'm very appreciative of, because I could not cook all that chicken by myself.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that is what we do during the fair, and they were both of them there, a part of that this year. So
as a fundraiser, what do you have goals with that? Like, how much would you fundraise at the fair with the chicken
as
shack?
much as we can. It really just depends on the year. I will say this year is our best year that we have had since I've been here anyway, in the last like 7 or 8 years. This was the best year. Of course, it was it's the state fair now, and it's really big, and they had like record-breaking attendances, and that's why. But yeah, it was a great year, a really great year.
And the weather was so nice.
The weather was perfect. Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, great. Well, Samuel, I think as we wrap it up, I'm going to let you kind of do a little commercial here to help encourage other young people to get into 4-H.
All right. Do 4-H. I mean, you can find so many different friends in 4-H. You can find so many different skills that you didn't even know existed in 4-H. So you'll have a lot of fun, and go 4-H.
And happy National 4-H Week.
Happy National 4-H Week. I appreciate all of you guys being here today. Again, we got Morgan with UT Extension. We've got Sarah, who is a sophomore at Watertown, and then we have a 7th grader, Samuel. So happy 4-H Week, and thank you all for coming out here and educating me on what it is and what you do, and I'm proud of all of you. This has been so exciting, and it's October 5th. It's Wednesday morning, and we're going to take a break, and I'm going to send it over to MJ.
Thank you, Sarah. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Now 7:30, and it's all brought to you by Bates Ford. Get a regular oil change, $34.95 up to 5 quarts of oil. Tax and disposal, $16.73 West Main. Now with traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. THB is on the scene of this wreck out here. People are rubbernecking as they drive by. It's Wilson County 40 westbound, just before you get to the Mount Juliet exit, between 109 and the Mount Juliet exit. Again, traffic's pretty slow because of this wreck here in Wilson County. It's still very busy on Vietnam Vets on that ramp to 65 South, even though they moved damaged vehicles from that crash. I still see heavy and slow traffic on 24 East at the Jolton exit because of that earlier wreck. Ober-Gatlinburg Restaurant and Lounge celebrating Oktoberfest. Check it out at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
This is Bob McDonald with Cedarstone Bank. For 17 years now, we've been serving our communities in Lebanon, Mount Juliet, and Donaldson. We can serve you in the way that best fits your needs. We have all the banking technology, we have beautiful buildings, but more importantly, we have great people. On behalf of our board of directors, I thank you for banking with us. If you don't currently bank with us, please come by and visit us in any of our locations. It would be our pleasure to talk with you about how simple banking is simply better.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
When you needed portable heating, cooling, generators and remediation equipment, contractor tools, or any other equipment or solution to help you get the job done, you trusted Absolute Rental and Supply. Now that same team brings you more equipment and more solutions as Herc Rentals. From construction and industrial to HVAC and homeowner, Herc Rentals has the gear and expertise to get jobs done efficiently, effectively, and safely. Visit us today at 1325 Main Street in Lebanon or online at hercrentals.com. That's HERC Rentals.
One more game before a banged-up Titans team has a much-needed bye week as they travel this Sunday to take on the Washington Commanders. Titans countdown begins at 11. Then Mike Heath and Coach Dave McGinnis call Titans and Commanders with a noon kick.
Brought to you by Fakes and Hooker, Bates Ford, Steve Mall Plumbing, The Jewelers, and the City of Lebanon Gas in Tennessee. 811, call before you dig.
This is Wilson County's home for real country music and the Tennessee Titans. Real Country 98.9.
Another chilly start to your day as we climb through the 40s and 50s. The good news is the sunshine warms us up quickly, and we'll see a high of 78 for this afternoon. Look for a low of 43 degrees tonight and a high of 82 for your Thursday. This weather forecast is brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty, professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm number one Ned.
And we're back. This is Sarah Haston filling in for Coleman Walker. Good morning, everyone. We've got our Herc Rentals here with Keith Nice to meet you, Keith.
Very nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be here. This is my favorite part of October is Coleman's vacation.
I had to laugh because you looked at the last name and you're like, I don't even want to mess that one up.
No,
So
I didn't even want to try it. So how do you say it, Keith?
it's Illy.
Illy. Yeah,
Yep.
I would not have got that correct.
Most people just say ill or Isle or I would have went by anything. I would have flowed with it.
You
You'd
would
been
have.
okay.
That's good to know. I'm the same way. Some people say Hastings, but it is Haston. But yeah. So tell me a little bit about Herc Rentals.
So Herc Rentals is a nationwide company. We are growing bigger and better every day. We're up to, I want to say it's like 325 locations now nationwide. And we're in the United States and in Canada. And, you know, we're just growing here in this area. We have the Nashville location. And then we also have the Lebanon location now that used to be Absolute Rentals. And Philip partnered with us and felt like we were a good fit to come in and serve his people. You know, I mean, he takes a lot of pride. He still comes down, he's watering the flowers and, you know, I have to laugh sometimes. But no, he's still definitely involved and wants to make sure that people are getting taken care of.
That's great. He's such a nice person. I've enjoyed getting to know him over the years through my role at the city. So now, Keith, this time of year, is this a busy time? I know there's seasons, but do you have peaks with your business?
We do. I mean, we have different types. Like this time of year is aerating season and kind of prepping in. So a lot of people are coming in. Like the hot item right now is aerators. And we purchased a couple extra, so we have 4 of them now in the fleet. And I mean, some of them are renting 2 to 3 times in a day and going out. And what they're able to do is seed before winter hits, and that way, it's that time of year. So you do that typically in the spring and in the fall. You can do it either time.
Okay.
But it's really, really common that people try to get it done before winter hits.
So what is that exactly? Walk me through that. I don't even know what that is.
So we have all kinds of different types of aerators. Like we have ride on, walk behind, pull behind. But what an aerator does is it actually punctures the lawn and pulls out. And this is where you're going to get me a little bit and put me on the spot. but it's allowing the ground to breathe and I think absorb the water. And then also when you're pulling out those plugs, we have a seeder box, so you're able to like reseed, so you're patching in on your old grass. And so come springtime, you have a nice, beautiful lawn.
Okay, great. So they just call you up and they rent those and...
They do. And, you know, I highly suggest that you call and get yourself on the books. And we've had a few incidents where people didn't return it when we thought they were going to. And then, you know, try to be patient with us. We're trying to make it fit everyone's schedule. And it just, when you're cramming so many people in the city into... It just doesn't always work perfectly.
Yeah, I imagine. And sometimes, you know, jobs take longer than you anticipate, I'm sure.
They do. And they run into different problems. And the good thing is that the aerators we have in our fleet, they are new. So less problems with the breakdowns. And it's probably more timing issues for the people that are using them.
Sure. Now, someone like me who's never done that before, when I come in and get the equipment, you walk me through how to use it, how to do it?
We definitely would. We'd already have it set up for you on the settings that you would run it on. And we would walk you through exactly how to use it and the do's and do nots. And yeah, we'd explain the whole thing to you, the process.
That's great. Now, do you bring it to my home or do I have to pick it up? How does that work?
So we can do either.
Okay.
We do offer delivery if you do not have a truck or access to be able to pick it up. Or we also offer trailers if you wanted to pick it up to save that cost, because we all know fuel's not cheap. But yeah, so you could do it either way, however you want to really do it.
That's great. Now, how long has it been Herc Rentals? I forget.
Oh, man. So 2016, we separated from the car rental, Hertz Rental, and became a separate entity. And we're a publicly traded company, and things have only gotten better for Herc. Now we are, our company is really invested in Herc. So every day we're growing to take care of our people. I've seen so many different incentives and things trying to bring people on, and the main focus is Herc rather than trying to be a sister company.
Sure.
And,
that makes a big difference, I would think. And what about hiring? Are you guys currently hiring as well?
We are. We're looking for, as Coleman says, a few good men or women.
Yes, or women, people, a few good people.
Yep. Hey, we have women mechanics. We have multiple positions, and hey, we don't care. We just want good people.
So if you're looking for a position, do you just come down and talk to you? Do you use the website?
So one thing that we would always suggest you do, go to hercrentals.com, and then you can go to the career tab, and it will show you the jobs that are posted. But never feel like you can't just come down and introduce yourself. And if you're needing a job with the good benefits and good pay, Herc's definitely a company I would look into. Great.
So Herc Rentals is located at 1325 West Main Street here in Lebanon. And your phone number is 615-443-RENT. That's R-E-N-T. And Keith, is there anything you want to add as we wrap up?
No, one thing we did bring in the heaters, brought them all down and getting them all set up. So it's starting to get a little chilly outside. So if you have any events, we do offer heaters as well. I did want to throw that in there.
Yeah, I'm glad that you did. It's this time of year, you never know if you're hot or cold. And I was looking at some Facebook memories this time a couple years ago, and we were all bundled up. And here today, it's cool in the morning, but by the afternoon, we're taking off our jackets. And
yeah, definitely.
Well, Keith with Herc Rentals, I sure appreciate you being here today, and it was nice to meet you. That's Keith with Herc Rentals at 615-443-RENT.
Thank you very much, Sarah.
Thank you. You have a good day.
All right.
All right. And now we are moving on to our guest, which happens to be my boss, Mayor Rick Bell. Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So now you come here twice a month. So this is your regular time slot. You're not just here to see me. I thought I should let everyone know that. And you come typically after the city council meeting, correct?
I do. And last night we sort of had a city council meeting. Before I talk about that, I want to wish a happy birthday to my wife, Nicole. Today is her birthday, and she is celebrating by opening up Coco and Lou this week.
Awesome. Well, congratulations for opening Coco and Lou, and happy birthday, Nicole Bell.
Yeah, so it's an eventful week. We're celebrating her, but also celebrating that store right there at Signature Place by Beauty Boutique, her other store. And so it's there's been a lot going on.
Well, that's awesome. I as a wife, I appreciate you being a supportive husband, and I think we both know in our roles how important it is to have local entrepreneurs invest in our community. So I appreciate Nicole and her partner, Lindsay Smith. I think that's awesome that they did that. And we both popped in yesterday, and it was a beautiful space, and they have awesome items to sell. And it's nice to be able to have different products like that in our community, so we're not having to leave our community to find the things that we need.
Absolutely.
Great.
So last night, we did not have a city council meeting.
That's right, we did not.
Yeah, we did not have a quorum. We have 6 city councilors. In order to have a quorum, 4 need to be there, and last night there were only 3. The other 3 did have important things going on, so that they had to miss. So we really were not able to vote on anything last night, which, there's some longtime observers. Jeff Baines, our Public Works Commissioner, Jocelyn Conrad was there as well. And both of them said they never remember that happening before.
I was just going to ask you if you recall that ever happening. I mean, I'm still the new kid on the block. I've been there. It'll be 7 years in January, but I didn't recall that, and I wondered if anyone else had.
Nobody has, and but we did do some things last night. We had a public hearing, and there were several items on that. But what was important was one of the things that we are doing as a city is we are increasing the design standards in commercial zoning. So when people build commercial buildings, we're changing the materials, the face of what they look like. And so that was presented in a public hearing last night. It'll be on the city council agenda soon. But, I just feel like it's important that we start upgrading that. As you know, we've had meetings in the past with people who've come in with their building designs, and it's just not up to what we would like for it to be. So I talked with Paul Corder, the planning director, and we worked on this. And so as we go in the future and people build commercial buildings, they're going to look a lot better.
Yeah, and I think that's absolutely important, especially with all that's new and we have coming. But tell everyone how something like that comes about. Like, how do these conversations start?
Well, usually they start with us, you and I, because, with economic development, you're recruiting a lot of people in here. But, we have meetings with developers who come in to build these things. And we had one meeting in particular with someone who wanted to come in and build something. And you ask the question, how's this going to look compared to their locations in other cities? And he gave an answer that was disappointing. And so we went and looked at our codes and our standards and realized that we need to upgrade. Because, one of the things that I've learned as being mayor is that when people come in and build, they're going to oftentimes build to the minimum. So we need to raise that minimum to make sure that our buildings look the way we want them to look, they have a standard we want them to have, and a quality that we want them to have. And so it starts off with a question maybe, and then it takes a lot of work. Our planning staff really works hard on this. You work hard on this. Our engineers do as well. So, it's a process. A lot of people take part in this, but it really starts with an idea.
Well, and I think you're being modest. I understand it does start with a question, but at the same time, under your leadership, I commend you for the fact that you take a stand, you see something you want, and you give us the direction to do it. Obviously it's teamwork and there's a lot of people involved, but someone has to tell us to do it. And I think that it's important that we recognize that you see that side. You see these people coming in and you're willing to take a stand and say, you know what, I think we can do better, and you encourage everyone to do that. So I don't know if the community sees that side of it, and I want to take a moment to just tell everyone that that's under your direction.
Well, thank you. And but it's increasing our standards, increasing what we have takes on a different role too. Last night there was something on the agenda. We did not get to vote on it, but we will next time. We're doing a Parks Recreation Master Plan. Earlier, we had identified a company to do that for us, but they've had some change in personnel. So we decided to shift gears and go with another company, Kimley Horn. So that's going to be placed in front of the City Council at the next meeting to approve Kimley Horn to do our Parks and Rec Master Plan. And really what this is a way to guide how we're going to grow our parks and recreation system. We have parks now, we have greenways, we want more of that, but we need to do it as a plan. We don't need to just, stick something where there's some open space. We need to have a plan and do it correctly. And also this gives us opportunity to get grants as well. But so that'll be on the next agenda to get some consultants in here to really help us with that and make sure as we move forward in that area, we're going the right direction, providing the amenities people want, making it nice, and making sure it's designed well.
Yeah, and that's very important. We hear a lot about parks and trails, and on the ECD side, it definitely helps recruit, a creative class. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and send it to MJ and take a quick break.
Thanks, Sarah. Let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to our friends at Absolute Kubota. Write it off the lot and write it off your taxes. Visit Lebanon, of course, Absolute Kubota. Take advantage of the Section 179 tax deduction when you buy new Kubota construction equipment, tractors, RTVs, hay tools, or turf products. Absolute Kubota, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning, THB. Wrapping up this wreck in Wilson County on 40 westbound, just before the Mount Juliet exit. Again, there's still a lot of traffic traveling there between 109 and the Mount Juliet exit on 40 West, trying to get past this crash. It's still very slow on 24 East, approaching the Jolton exit there at Lights Creek Pike from that earlier accident. They just got a lot of traffic arriving in that area now from Montgomery County, Clarksville, there on 24 East, trying to get through Jolta. Ober-Gatlinburg Restaurant and Lounge, they are celebrating Oktoberfest. Don't miss it this year. Check it out at obergatlinburg.com. I'm Commander Chug, you're on time traffic.
Contact Stephen Lowry Land Clearing for all your land clearing needs. Whether it's clearing trails for ATVs, reclaiming pasture, or clearing your land of brush and trees, Stephen Lowry can get the job done. He works closely with customers, adjusting to make changes as you want. Stephen Lowry will give you quality work at a price that you can afford. He will also beat any written estimate. Call Stephen Lowry at 615-970-8154 for all your land clearing needs. That's Stephen Lowry Land Clearing, 615-970-8154.
Cumberland University football is back in action this Saturday, October 8th, as the Phoenix hosts Campbellsville University at Noakes Lassiter Field. This is Christian Opposed of the Cumberland Sports Network, inviting you to join Bob Lee and myself this Saturday. Pre-game coverage begins at 3:30, leading up to a 4 o'clock kickoff, right here on WANT and WCOR. The Campbellsville Tigers meet the Cumberland Phoenix this Saturday at 4 o'clock, right here on WANT and WCOR.
Here's some news you can use. The Wilson Post is moving. We're leaving our North Cumberland location and headed over to Hartman Drive, 216 Hartman, right across from Bay's Bread. If you're looking to come pay your subscription or start a new one or drop off a classified ad, you'll do it at 216 Hartman Drive. Come by and see us.
Welcome back. Good morning. This is Sarah Haston filling in for Coleman Walker, and it is October 5th. It's just past 8:45, and I'm here with Mayor Rick Bell. For those of you who don't know, he is my boss on the day-to-day, so I'm enjoying interviewing him. I made a little joke that I wrote my own questions since he's always so prepared, but it was a joke. I don't have that much courage. He is my boss. But just before the break, we were talking about the Parks and Rec Master Plan. So that's something that is new to the city. We have not had one before.
We haven't, and it's something we need. You know, we're a growing city, and our Parks and Rec are growing with that, and we need a plan. Speaking of that, on October 26th, we are holding the groundbreaking for our sports complex Phase 1. That's something that the City Council approved a few months ago, approved the bid to construct that. We had the pre-construction meeting this week, and it's ready to go. You know, right now our soccer fields are on the airport property, and that's not a good situation. So we've decided to move the soccer fields out on 231 South on property the city bought several years ago to build a sports complex. And again, this is Phase 1, and we're really excited about that, to get it going and get kids playing out there. It's going to be really nice, and the groundbreaking is going to be October 26th.
And that's exciting because that's something that has been talked about for a long time. So it's nice that we're finally seeing some action on it and getting going on it. I'm excited about the groundbreaking as well. And I know Wilson United is excited as well.
They are. You know, they've worked hard on this too, but it really came down to, you know, the city council approving it. You know, a plan was put together. Rick Smith chaired a committee for a couple of years to design this. And, you know, I'm really honored to be part of it, to see this next step. You know, it's been over 20 years since a new athletic field was built here in Lebanon for youth, and it's really time we do that again. And a lot of people have worked hard on that, and now we're going to break ground.
Yeah, and you know, everyone always has ideas and thoughts of what we should do as government. So it's nice when an idea comes together and you have a funding plan for it as well.
It is. And it's a funding plan that does not involve a tax increase.
Which is fantastic.
We've been able to put something together that is a great plan. It's very financially responsible to get this built for kids, and it's something that we'll be able to use for decades. And we're able to do it in a very financially responsible way.
That's great. And as you know, we hear all the time that community amenities are important to our quality of life, and adding something for our youth is fantastic.
It is. They are the future.
They are.
We need to take care of them.
They are. So speaking of quality of life, can we segue into something that I think the community would love to hear? You know, MJ's ears and eyes just perked up.
Every time I come out here, MJ asks, do you have an announcement? Anything you can tell me? Anything new coming? And today we have an announcement.
Drum roll, a special announcement from Mayor Rick Bell.
Nick and Audra Guidry own a restaurant in East Nashville called Pelican and Pig. Back in 2019, it was voted Nashville Restaurant of the Year. And they are going to open 2 locations here in Lebanon.
2, that is amazing.
Yeah, at 124 North College, there's going to be a restaurant called Juniper. Nick is a chef, and he's going to operate that. You and I hear a lot from people about how we need nice sit-down restaurants. This is a nice sit-down restaurant. And so this is something that people have been wanting. This is something that people have been asking for, and we're really honored to be able to say that this is coming in and that Nick is going to invest in our community. And then Audra is a baker, and she's going to open Slow Hand Bakery at 111 South Greenwood. People may know that as the home of Sassy Pecan, which is closed. So she's going into there, and she describes this as a San Francisco-style bakery with breads, croissants. She's going to have coffee there as well, and you can come in and buy sandwiches too. And so, this is something we're really happy about to have the Guidrys come in, invest in our community, provide quality food, and something that people are really going to enjoy. And there's something that I talk about a lot, and I know you talk about a lot too. People here want places to eat, and there's always chain restaurants out by the interstate, but locally owned restaurants are really what makes the city special because it makes us unique. It's something other cities don't have, and it's something we can say is ours. And so the Guidrys are coming, but also everyone out there who owns a locally owned restaurant, we thank you because you make our place special. And we know there are a lot out there, and we're thankful for every one of them. And this is going to be 2 new additions to that list.
Absolutely. That was great. I'm so excited about this. And, one of the things that makes my job a little easier is when we meet new people who come in and are thinking about investing in our community, introducing them to other business owners. Our small business community is so strong, and we have such good people that they almost sell it themselves, and we were very lucky. Nick and Audra attended our Historic Lebanon Farm to Table fundraiser and met several members of our community, and they just knew it was a great fit, and they're excited about investing in our community and growing with it. And they have several other concepts and ideas, and I'll just plug, we're looking for you entrepreneurs. If you have an idea, we'll put you in touch with the resources you need, and we are looking for people who want to continue to invest in Lebanon.
Absolutely. And again, we're so thankful for everyone who's invested in this city and have opened businesses and have seen Lebanon as a place where they want to live and where they want to work and where they want to invest and be part of the community. And we're so honored Nick and Audra are coming as well. But there's so many people out there, countless people who've opened restaurants here, opened other types of businesses here, and that's really what makes us who we are. I say a lot that we as a city could not do what we do without you doing what you do, because you're the economic engine of this town, and that's something that we're also very thankful for. But again, your job and my job is to recruit things in here that people want, and we believe with Nick and Audra, these are 2 places that people want. We think there are 2 places people are going to enjoy, and as you said, they have plans for other ones as well. Nicole and I have been to Pelican and Pig in East Nashville. It's a great place, and they're going to bring that here, so it's something that we look forward to.
It's an exciting time right now in Lebanon. We've had a big week. We've had 2 breweries open last Saturday. One on the downtown square, Cedar City Brewery, and 10 Lakes Brewery in the Mill.
Absolutely.
It's exciting time. If you haven't been out there, we encourage everyone to get out and explore Lebanon. There's so many new businesses that pop up. You can go to the Lebanon Wilson County Chamber of Commerce website and you can pull up all the new businesses. They're doing ribbon cuttings every week of new businesses that are opening here in our hometown.
Yeah, and these are places not just for the people who live in Lebanon either. People will come here to go to these places as well, and that's the thing about locally owned restaurants and other businesses is that they bring in people from other places. Everybody has a Walmart, everybody has a Cracker Barrel, but not everybody has these, and so that's something that's also a draw to get people to our town, and that's what we're looking for.
Absolutely. Well, Mayor, I know you have other items you want to talk about.
Well, there's one thing. Coming up on October 18th is the Power of 10 conference in Nashville. The 10 represents the 10 counties around Davidson, which includes Davidson. And every year they have this conference where leaders, community leaders, government leaders come together. They listen to panel discussions and other ideas about aspects of the future of this region. And so on the 18th, I'm honored to be a speaker. I'm going to be part of a panel discussion with a few other mayors here in Middle Tennessee, and then we're going to talk about how cities move into the future. And so that's something I'm really excited about. I've been to the Power of 10 before. I've sat in the audience and listened, and now I'm going to be able to get up here and talk. And that's something that's really important as well. Is I think sometimes here in Lebanon we sort of we get into our day-to-day routine, and we feel like that the opportunities and challenges that we face, that we're the only ones. And that's not true. Every county and city in Middle Tennessee face the same opportunities and challenges that we do. And it's really great to come together, share ideas, really work together because, that's what this is all about. The entire region, we're going through the same issues, and this opportunity to really share those ideas, and I'm honored that they asked me to be part of it.
Yeah, it's a big deal. It's incredible that when you think of all of the cities, when you put together 10 counties, and for Lebanon to be featured and you, Mayor, that's pretty awesome.
Well, thank you. And once a month we have a mayor's caucus in Nashville, and it's really good to get together and talk. There's the best way to learn is to listen, and that's what I do every time I go. And when I've been to the Power of 10, I've listened, and apparently now people are going to listen to me. So it's really cool, and I appreciate them asking.
That's great. I'm excited about it. It's one of my favorite conferences, and even though it's focused on planning, one of the unique aspects of it is land use, specifically with economic development and trying to help that land meet its maximum potential for the benefits of the city.
Absolutely, because we have vacant land out there, but we want to make sure it develops in the way that we want and the way we need, and what's best for people who live here and for this city. And different lands have different opportunities, and we need to make sure that we maximize those, because once something is built there, it's going to be there a while.
Right.
And we need to make sure it's right.
And we even use it as training for our Planning Commission and our Board of Zoning Appeals. Well, Mayor, I've really enjoyed speaking with you this morning. I know we talk all the time, but I think this was a little fun format for us, and I really appreciate being asked to do this with Coleman when he's out, and it looks like our time is up.
Well, who knows? Maybe one day this will be Sarah and company full time.
I like it. Let's talk about that, Susie. Well, I hope everyone has a fantastic day. Again, this is Sarah Haston, and I am signing out for